My friends, there are moments in history when the loudest voices are not those on the stage, but those in the crowd, the mothers who rise before dawn to feed their children, the fathers who work 2 jobs and still whisper prayers of hope at night, the young men and women who fight invisible battles every day, yet refuse to surrender. These are not the celebrated names in our headlines. They are not written in history books, but they are the true architects of tomorrow. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I want you to hear me today. The world does not change when we wait for someone else to take responsibility. The world changes when you decide right now that your life matters, your gift matters, and your contribution matters. The road will not always be smooth. There will be nights when the dream feels too heavy, when the applause is absent, and when the finish line feels far. But remember this, diamonds are not born in comfort. They are formed in pressure. Trees do not grow taller in easy seasons, but in storms that test their roots. And so will you. I've seen men who lost everything build again from nothing. I've seen women, told they were too weak, rise and lead nations. I've seen the quiet ones, the ones no one noticed, stand up in faith and change their entire family line. You see, greatness does not ask where you were born, what your past looks like, or how much you have in your pocket. Greatness only asks one thing: will you rise? And so I stand before you with this challenge. Do not be average in a world that desperately needs leaders. Do not ignore the whisper within you, telling you that you were made for more. Because if you bury your gift, the world loses a piece of its future. My friends, hear this truth. Change is not coming to you. Change must come through you. So rise with courage, walk with perseverance. Believe in a tomorrow brighter than today, and let your life be the evidence that hope is stronger than despair, that unity is greater than division, and that faith in yourself, faith in God, faith in the possibilities of tomorrow will never be wasted. This may be the video average people will ignore, but you are not average. You are chosen, you are called, and the world is waiting for you. Stand up, step forward, and live the future you dream of. Ordinary people, extraordinary impact. History has always belonged to ordinary people who decided to live in an extraordinary way. It was never written by those who merely stood on the sidelines, watching, waiting, and whispering about what could have been. It was written by those who dared to act when no one believed in them. The mother who raises her children in hardship, yet teaches them courage. The young man who refuses to surrender to poverty and builds a business with nothing but faith and persistence. The teacher who stays after class to help the child everyone else had forgotten. These are the silent giants among us. They remind us that greatness does not always arrive with applause or attention. It arrives quietly in the ordinary lives of people who choose to stand when others sit, to give when others take, and to believe when others doubt. Every one of us has this power. The question is never whether greatness is possible. The question is whether we will choose to live it. Pressure produces greatness. Diamonds are not found lying casually on the surface of the earth. They are created deep in the ground, under pressure so intense that it would crush ordinary stone. That pressure, that heat, that struggle, it is what transforms ordinary carbon into something priceless. Your life is no different. You may feel the weight of pressure pressing on you from every side: responsibility, failure, rejection, pain. But what if I told you that pressure is not here to destroy you, but to define you? What if the very storm you are running from is the same storm preparing you for a future you cannot yet see? Think about it. Trees do not grow tall in seasons of comfort. They grow deep roots in storms, because storms test their strength. Every trial you face is a teacher. Every disappointment is a tool. Every closed door is not rejection, but redirection. The struggle is not evidence that you are weak. The struggle is evidence that you are being shaped for something greater than what you see right now. Greatness demands a choice. Greatness never forces itself on anyone. It will not beg you, and it will not chase you. It stands before you as an open invitation, asking one simple question: will you rise? Too many people believe greatness is reserved for the wealthy, the powerful, the famous. But greatness is not interested in your background. It does not care where you were born, what you look like, or what others have said about you. Greatness does not ask how much money you have or what your resume says. It only asks if you are willing to step beyond fear, beyond comfort, and beyond excuses. Because every time you refuse to rise, you bury a gift the world desperately needs. And every time you choose to rise, you awaken something in others, giving them permission to rise too. Greatness is not an accident. It is a decision, and until you decide, your potential remains locked inside you, like a seed never planted in the ground. Change comes through you. Most people spend their lives waiting for someone else to fix the problems around them. They wait for governments, leaders, systems, or circumstances to change. But the truth is, real change does not come to you, it comes through you. The world is not waiting for another politician, another celebrity, or another program. The world is waiting for you to take responsibility for your life, your gift, your corner of influence. Too often, we point to what others have failed to do, while ignoring the small but powerful things we can do. The future is not shaped by those who complain, but by those who commit. You are not powerless. Every action you take, every word you speak, every choice you make sends ripples into the world around you. The change you long to see begins the moment you decide to live differently, to think differently, to give differently. You are the vessel through which transformation enters the earth. You are not average. The tragedy of life is not that people die. The tragedy is that so many die having never lived the life they were created to live. Too many people settle for average when they were born to be extraordinary. Average is safe, comfortable, unnoticed. But you were not designed to be average. You were designed to be a light in dark places, a voice of hope in times of despair, a builder of bridges where others see only walls. Deep inside you is a gift that no one else carries, and if you bury it, the world loses a piece of its future. Do not believe the lie that your life is small. Do not believe the voice that says your contribution does not matter. Every time you refuse to rise, you confirm the expectations of the crowd. But every time you choose to rise, you prove that average is not your destiny. Remember this: the world is waiting for you, not for the average version of you, but for the extraordinary you. Pressure produces greatness. Every diamond you see sparkling in a crown, set in a ring, or displayed as a prized treasure began its journey as nothing more than carbon, ordinary, overlooked, unseen. What made it precious was not where it started, but what it endured, buried deep in the earth, under crushing weight and unimaginable heat. That carbon was transformed. It was the pressure that produced its value. And so it is with your life. Many people think pressure is a curse, something to be avoided, something unfair. But pressure is not your enemy. Pressure is the very tool that reveals the greatness within you. Without pressure, there are no diamonds. Without struggle, there is no strength. Without storms, there are no strong roots. The challenges you face are not signs of your weakness. They are confirmations of your potential. Think about it for a moment. The tallest trees in the forest are not those that grow in mild, easy conditions. They are the ones that have survived harsh winds, heavy rains, and violent storms. Their roots grow deep because they had to. They stretch higher because they were pushed lower. The pressure of the storm did not kill them. It made them unshakable. And in the same way, the storms of your life are not here to bury you. They are here to build you. Pressure has a way of exposing what's inside us. When life presses down, when stress rises, when responsibilities overwhelm, it squeezes out what is hidden in the heart. Some people discover fear. Others discover anger. But those who embrace the process, those who lean into the challenge, discover resilience, faith, and strength they never knew they had. That strength was always there, but it could only be revealed under pressure. Look at the stories of those who changed the world. They were not people who lived in comfort. They were men and women who carried the weight of rejection, the heat of criticism, the pressure of failure, and yet they refused to quit. Every inventor who gave us the tools we now take for granted faced countless failures before their breakthrough. Every leader who inspired nations endured seasons of loneliness, misunderstanding, and resistance. They became diamonds not in ease, but in fire. Pressure teaches us patience. It teaches us perseverance. It teaches us that the timeline of greatness cannot be rushed. A diamond does not appear overnight. It takes years, decades, centuries of shaping beneath the surface. You may be in a season where you feel hidden, unseen, buried. But what if this is not the end? What if this is the process of your becoming? Just because no one sees you shining yet does not mean your brilliance is not forming. There is a reason why pressure feels uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. Transformation is uncomfortable. When you are being stretched beyond what you think you can endure, when the weight feels unbearable, when the situation seems too heavy, remember that pressure is not a sign to destroy you. It is a sign to define you. If you will stay, if you will endure, if you will trust the process, you will come out stronger, sharper, brighter than before. Do not mistake comfort for success. Too many people run from pressure, seeking the easy road, the safe path. But comfort produces nothing of lasting value. Comfort never made a leader. Comfort never built a legacy. Comfort never created a diamond. Pressure does. And if you avoid pressure, you also avoid the greatness that pressure is trying to bring out of you. Even in your own story, reflect on the moments when you grew the most. Were they the easy days when everything went smoothly? Or were they the seasons of difficulty when you had to fight, when you had to rise, when you had to believe against the odds? Growth does not happen when life is easy. Growth happens when life is heavy. Pressure is the classroom of destiny. Every test, every burden, every trial is shaping your character, strengthening your resolve, and sharpening your vision. And though you may not see the full picture right now, you are being prepared for a stage you cannot yet imagine. Just as a diamond cannot skip the process, neither can you. Greatness demands a choice. Greatness has never been an accident. It has never been the result of chance, luck, or coincidence. Greatness is always the fruit of a choice. And until a person decides deep within their heart that they will rise, they will commit, they will endure, greatness remains only potential, never reality. You see, potential is not enough. Every one of us carries within us the seeds of greatness, but a seed hidden in a pocket produces nothing. A seed buried in the ground, watered, exposed to sunlight, tested by weather, that is the seed that grows into a tree. And the same is true for your life. Greatness is not about what you carry within. It is about what you choose to release, to cultivate, and to bring forth. Too many people believe that greatness belongs only to a select few, the wealthy, the powerful, the famous. They think greatness is inherited, reserved for those born into privilege or opportunity. But history tells us otherwise. Some of the greatest men and women who changed the world began in obscurity, in poverty, in rejection. They did not inherit greatness. They chose it. They chose to rise when others sat down. They chose to persevere when others gave up. They chose to believe when others doubted. Greatness demands a response. It will not chase you. It will not beg you. It will not force its way into your life. It stands before you every single day as an open invitation. But the question is simple: will you rise? Every time you say no, every time you make excuses, every time you allow fear or laziness to dictate your choices, you bury the gift that was meant to bless the world. And every time you say yes, every time you choose courage over comfort, faith over fear, discipline over distraction, you release something powerful that not only transforms your life, but inspires others to rise as well. Choice is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Many dream of success, but only those who choose to pay the price will taste it. Many dream of impact, but only those who choose to sacrifice comfort and step into challenge will see it. Greatness is not a gift handed down. It is a decision to be different, to live differently, to think differently, to act differently. Look around you. The world is filled with people who had the potential to be great, but refused the choice. They were talented, but they never disciplined themselves. They had vision, but they never acted. They had ideas, but they never executed. And so their greatness died inside them, buried with their excuses. The graveyard is the richest place on earth because it is filled with untapped gifts, unwritten books, unstarted businesses, unsung songs, unrealized dreams, all because someone never made the choice to rise. But then there are those who did choose. They had the same fears, the same doubts, the same obstacles, yet they decided differently. They chose to step forward, fight through the pain, to believe beyond their failures. And the world remembers them not because they were born special, but because they chose to live beyond average. Choice is the gatekeeper of destiny. Every day you wake up, you are standing at a crossroad. One road leads to comfort, the other to greatness. One leads to mediocrity, the other to legacy. And though comfort may feel easier, it is the path that robs you of purpose. Greatness is never found on the easy road. Greatness is found on the narrow path of discipline, sacrifice, perseverance, and faith. What makes this truth so powerful is that greatness does not require perfection. You do not have to be flawless. You do not have to have all the answers. You do not have to know how everything will work out. You simply have to choose to begin, to keep going, to refuse to quit. Every step you take toward your vision, no matter how small, is a declaration that you have chosen greatness. Greatness is not in the applause you receive or the recognition others give. It is in the daily choice to honor your gift, to use what you have, maximize what you carry, and to live in such a way that when others look at you, they are reminded of their own potential. Because when you rise, you give permission for others to rise. When you choose courage, you inspire courage in others. When you choose discipline, you remind others that discipline is possible. Your choice becomes a ripple that reaches far beyond your life. Change comes through you. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for change to happen. They wait for governments to shift, for leaders to act, for circumstances to improve. They wait for luck, for opportunity, for something external to rescue them from their situation. But change does not come to you, change comes through you. The transformation you long for in your family, in your community, in your world, it begins inside you, not outside of you. Too often, people point fingers at the failures of others while ignoring the responsibility in their own hands. They say, if only my boss treated me better, I would give more effort. If only the government fixed the economy, I would have more opportunities. If only my family supported me, I would succeed. But the truth is, waiting for someone else to change is the surest way to waste your life. Change is not a gift you receive, it is a decision you embody. Think of history. The greatest movements that shaped the world did not begin in palaces, parliaments, or corporate offices. They began in the hearts of individuals who refused to accept things as they were. A young woman who decided she would not move to the back of a bus. A preacher who decided he would not remain silent in the face of injustice. A scientist who decided to challenge the limits of what people believed was possible. These individuals did not wait for change to come to them. They became the vessels through which change entered the world. Change requires responsibility. It demands that you stop asking, why won't someone fix this? And start asking, what can I do with what I have? Responsibility is the birthplace of transformation. You may not have all the resources. You may not have the platform, the power, or the title, but you have something. You have your voice. You have your influence. You have your gift. And when you use what is in your hand, you unlock the possibility of impact that is far greater than what you imagine. So many people underestimate the ripple effect of their actions. They believe that their small contribution does not matter, that their effort is too insignificant to bring about real change. But the truth is, great change is often built on small acts of faithfulness, compounded over time. A kind word that shifts a person's perspective, a decision to act with integrity in a corrupt environment, a choice to invest in a child, a neighbor, a community, even when no one is watching. These simple actions are seeds, and seeds, when planted and watered, grow into forests that outlast the planter. Change is not easy. It will not come without resistance. People will misunderstand you. They will doubt you. They may even oppose you. But opposition is proof that your actions are shaking something that needs to be shaken. Change disrupts comfort. It challenges patterns. It breaks cycles. That is why it is resisted. But that is also why it is necessary. If you want to see transformation, you must be willing to endure discomfort, criticism, and sacrifice. And here is what is remarkable. When you decide to become the source of change, you don't just transform your own life. You ignite transformation in the lives of those around you. One person's courage becomes the catalyst for another's faith. One person's determination awakens another's discipline. One person's stand inspires another's movement. Change multiplies when it begins in one heart that dares to act. The danger of waiting is that you risk living your entire life as a spectator, watching others step into their purpose while you stay on the sidelines, watching others create solutions while you only point out problems, watching others write history while you remain a footnote. The world does not need more spectators. The world needs participants. The world needs people who understand that change is not someone else's job. It is mine, it is yours, it is ours. Every generation faces the temptation to pass responsibility to the next, to say, one day someone will solve this. One day things will improve. One day someone will step up. But that someone is you. That someday is today. And the choice is whether you will continue to wait or whether you will rise and act. Because every time you decide to delay, every time you hand your responsibility to someone else, you push change further into the future. And every time you decide to act, you pull the future into the present. Change comes through you when you stop underestimating what you carry. It comes through you when you stop waiting for permission to lead. It comes through you when you embrace the truth that no one else can live your life. No one else can use your gift. No one else can release your potential. Change is personal before it is public. It starts in your mind, in your choices, in your habits, in your daily commitment to live differently. And when you do, the impact does not remain confined to you. It spreads, multiplies, and reshapes the environment around you. You are not average. The greatest tragedy in life is not death. The greatest tragedy is to live your entire life never becoming what you were created to be. Too many people die full of dreams, full of potential, full of gifts they never used. They settle for average, not because they are average, but because they believe the lie that average was all they could ever be. You were not born to blend in. You were not born to simply survive. You were born with purpose. You were born with vision. You were born carrying something the world needs. And yet the system of life tries to condition you to believe that ordinary is enough. Go to school, get a job, pay the bills, live quietly, and one day die. But deep down, you know that cannot be all there is. Deep down, there is a voice inside you whispering, you are more than this. Average is safe. Average is comfortable. Average requires no risk, no faith, no sacrifice. But average will also rob you of your destiny. The world is filled with people who chose the easy path, who never stretched, never stepped out, never pursued the greatness within them. And the world is poorer because of it. Somewhere, there is a song we will never hear because the singer decided to remain average. Somewhere, there is a book we will never read because the writer buried his gift. Somewhere, there is a cure, an invention, a movement, a revolution that will never come to life because the person carrying it decided to settle. But you are not average. You carry something unique, something irreplaceable. There has never been another you, and there will never be another you. No one else has your fingerprint, your voice, your exact combination of talents, personality, and experiences. That uniqueness is not an accident. It is intentional. It is evidence that you were born with a specific assignment, one that only you can fulfill. If you choose to ignore it, the world loses a part of its future. Think of the people we celebrate as great. They were not born with a crown. They were not born famous, wealthy, or powerful. Many of them were overlooked, underestimated, rejected. What separated them from the crowd was not talent alone, but a refusal to be average. They chose to rise even when no one believed in them. They chose to pursue excellence even when mediocrity was easier. They chose to believe that their lives could make a difference. And because they refused to settle, they became a light for others to follow. Average tells you to play small. Greatness calls you to rise higher. Average tells you to fit in. Greatness calls you to stand out. Average tells you to stay silent. Greatness calls you to speak. Average says, who do you think can change the world? Greatness says, who are you not to? There will always be voices that try to convince you that you are just like everyone else, that you should not expect too much, that you should not dream too big. They will say, be realistic, be practical, stay in your lane. But reality is shaped by those who refuse to accept average. Every breakthrough in history began with someone who said, I refuse to live by the limitations others place on me. If you want to live an extraordinary life, you must be willing to challenge the ordinary. You are not average because you have survived things others could not. You are not average because you carry ideas, dreams, and visions that have not yet been seen. You are not average because there is greatness locked inside you, waiting for you to release it. But here is the truth. Potential unused will become potential wasted. Potential ignored will become potential buried. The only way to escape average is to act, to step into the unknown, to risk failure, to embrace the process of becoming. When you rise, you do more than change your own life. You give others permission to rise as well. Your courage becomes their inspiration. Your determination becomes their example. Your excellence becomes their standard. Refusing to be average is not just about you. It is about the impact your life was designed to make. Somewhere, someone is waiting for you to step into your greatness, because when you do, it unlocks the possibility for them to step into theirs. Average is a prison built out of fear and comfort, but you hold the key. You were never meant to live behind those bars. You were meant to break out, to soar, to lead, to create. Leave a mark that cannot be erased. You are not here to take up space. You are here to make space for change, for hope, for progress, for transformation. And the moment you believe this truth is the moment you begin to live it. My friends, we have walked through the truth that ordinary people can do extraordinary things, that pressure is not here to break you but to shape you, that greatness always demands a choice, that change will never arrive until it comes through you, and that you were never created to be average. If you remember anything from these words, remember this: your life is not an accident, your struggles are not wasted, your choices are not small, and your future is not limited. You carry within you the answer to someone's prayer, the solution to someone's problem, the inspiration for someone's dream. Do not underestimate what is in your hands. Do not allow fear to silence your gift. Do not let comfort rob you of destiny, because the truth is this: there is no ordinary moment when it comes to your life. Every day is a chance to rise. Every season is an opportunity to grow. Every choice is a seed that will echo into eternity. And though the world may try to convince you otherwise, though the crowd may ignore this message, though average people may dismiss it as just another speech, I know you are different. I know you are listening. I know you are ready to rise. So go forward with courage. Go forward with faith. Go forward with perseverance. And live in such a way that when history remembers your name, it will say of you, not that you survived, not that you blended in, not that you settled, but that you chose to be great. You chose to be different. You chose to let change come through you. And you chose to prove with your life that you were never average.